Hey guys, I hope you are doing well and good. And let's go with the second part of the footage, right? What I'm going to share with you in this video would be the second part. Earlier, we have discussed what should be our mission and what we have to accomplish to start with our mission. And in this video, I'm going to share you what I have planned to do, right? So you can plan your own, but for me, it would be to share my plan and then you can extract whatever that fits for you. If there isn't competitions or anything like that, don't worry about that. You know, as Peter Thiel says that competitions is for the losers. So don't worry about if somebody is competing you or anything like that. If somebody is competing with your product, it means that your product is validated in one way, right? And you gotta figure it out how you're gonna come over all those kind of barriers along the way. So to get started with, what I'm gonna look at in my computer and see what we can input for today or for our second video, right? So this title I'm gonna give as my mission and my goal, right? and and the first thing is about the product or the service that I'm going to create, and that would be uh, related to our entire mission and goal that we want to achieve during these endeavors, right? So to start with, I have planned for something related to a platform. It's going to be on-demand platform, just very similar to Uber or something related to on-demand platform. So my focus is on healthcare and lifestyle. What I believe, right? God has given everybody a talent, a skills, and that's the reason you were born on this earth in some way or form. You cannot, demotivate yourself stating that, oh, I'm from here, I'm from there. No, as long as you are living, you have a life, you have a thoughts, you can do a lot of things. There is no way that you can just keep yourself aloof or demotivated to achieve something that is given to you by nature, right? So in my thoughts, in my mission, in my goals, what I want to do is that how can I help people in various way. So to start with, almost 5 years ago or 6 years ago, while I was working for a corporate, I thought about it every day. Like, there would be a better way for me to voluntarily do things that would benefit people with the knowledge or the experience that I have. So, what am I going to do with this experience and knowledge that I'm born with? Right? I want to share with you. So, my intention is to set up a legacy, right? So that people can intimate based on what my footprints are, and they decide their own footprint and set their legacy for people to follow you, right? So to start with, what is Tenmis? Tenmis, it stands for TNMIS. It stands for 10 million smile, right? Where does it come from? Why did we, I started this Tenmis, or I plan to start this Tenmis? It's because I felt that we are blessed, like I said, with a lot of talents and skills that we need to contribute our this journey with people around the world, right? So for me to start with, the first thing is to think about it. What am I going to do, right? What can I do? What is the purpose of my existence? It won't be just a kind of a zero or a blank, but it will be a purpose. There is a purpose every time, right? We just have to understand the purpose. And to understand the purpose is by creating one or two goals or missions and try to understand if there's something related to your passions or something that you are very excited about every now and then. So to start with, if you do not have the idea about how to start or what would be your goal or what what's the thing that you would like to do, all right, or what interests you, or what uh, motivate you every now and then, right? If you want to think about these things, I have a video which is about like close to like a 3 or 4 years ago, but I will still will share it with you in this video. It's about, let's say, I'm gonna give you a little scenario here, right? So the first thing would be the purpose, right? So uh, since you were a child, there is something that you like to do always. You may not thought about that is something that you really want to take it as your personal, portfolio. But if you think again, then you might say, okay, you just have to list down, let's say, 25 things or 20 things that you like to do, right? So once you have like a 15 to 20 list of the things that you like to do every day, it could be anything, right? Anything. Since you were a kid or since you were a child, there is something that you have been constantly doing it. So you just have to list down that 20, and then cut it down to the things that you like the most after you see that 20 list, and then filter it out and come up to like the top five things that you like to do, and try to integrate or try to merge these top five things with your mission, and prioritize number one what would be the things that you like to do. So for example, if you like painting, right, you can just put as number one as a painting, and make emissions of a painting, right? And the goal is to be a very good artist, right? And expose it, and to do have your own shows and things like that. And if you're a musician, or if you like singing or playing an instrument, it could be something that is part of you, that is your portfolio, right? Or your life portfolio that you want to build up. Probably you may not have been into like kind of big show or big platform or a stage. It doesn't matter at all. Every good players does not need to be in the field. They can be in a supporter, or they can be a coach, and they can be a trainer, or they can be a managers, but they are in the sports, they're in the game, right? So for me was I have did kind of a lot of other things in my life that I've seen that it's good for me to share uh, this experience with people, because it's not necessarily that that everybody has to take the same step, but instead of how Jack Ma has say that learn from the people failure, learn from other people, so that you don't have to repeat the same failure, or take your time, consume your time, and waste your time, and get yourself killed in that kind of dark uh, what do you call it, environment, or the dark thoughts. So to start with, like I was saying, like try to figure it out, what is the top 15 or 20 list, and prioritize one of the things that you have been doing since a very childhood. So that is one of the kind of knowledge and experience you have already earned, and you have already got it. So let's say if you take the analogy of the musician, as a singer or as a writer or whatever the things that you have been doing, that is something that because you have been doing that every now and then, the ups and downs of whatever you have been doing. But it's not something that you have monetized it, or you never thought about to monetize it, but you felt like it's something that you are very much aware of it. The things ups and downs, and that's what we want to do, right? So we now got at least what we want to do based on the list that we have. So similarly, with me, with the list that I have created that, okay, I want to create a platform that I can contribute to the society. People can take part in that and make a living out of it, right? So share your skills, share your experience, and render that to the society, that in return they will reward you. So Tenmis, about Tenmis, as the name states that 10 million smile. The reason why I come up with the 10 million smile, see, you got to be very creative, and it's funny, but excuse me, it's very exciting as well. So 10 million smile. The reason why I come with the 10 million smile is, so I was thinking about it. Why people are, or say, how many times do we smile in a day, right? According to some research, they say that a kid who does not have any kind of a responsibility when they are young, they smile about like 400 times a day. But as an adult, once you start hitting about like a 25 to 30 or 35 or beyond, let's say 20, you end up smiling very less, right? So the reason why you're not smiling is because there is something, pressuring you, and you're not excited about life or anything. So what we want to do is that how can I bring that smile of the child of to an adult, right? So when I was calculating how many times, let's say you have a life expectancies of 80 years in this earth, and let's say from the very first day of your birth, you've been smiling, let's say 400 times, right? With their calculation, or it's gonna be more or less, but let's take an average of 400. So let's say if you smile 400 every day with uh, that you are very grateful in your life, or you are able to take controls of things in your life, not doing it harming or impacting somebody's life in a wrong way, but be what do you call it, rewarding yourself in a good way, that you are very happy of the things that you do, right? In that form, uh, let's calculate 400 times a day into 80 years. It comes up to some beyond 10 million, times. So it comes up to like 11 to 12 millions times in 80 years, right? So with that, I thought about it. Why not instead of making 11 or 12 millions, let's count it as easy number, 10 millions, and what we want to deliver is a smile. So 10 million smiles. So that's how I thought about the company name, and that's how I have come up with the Tenmis, right? And so you can be very creative of your own name and have a story, a little story, kind of a exciting story that people will be very much kind of inspired about. Okay, that's what you want to do, right? So that is about the Tenmis and the name of Tenmis. So what we want to create in Tenmis is that we want to create a platform that will help people who have a skill set and people who need that skill set, right? So you're going to be building a bridge in between from A to B, or let's say from A to C. Let's say your consumer or your providers, one of the people are people who consumes are the one, let's say C, and you are the B. A are the one who has that or who can render their skills and knowledge and whatever they can contribute to the society. So you are trying to be the central point of the bridge that help the create the supply and the demand, basically, right? So uh, with that, I'm going to share here Tenmis mission, right? What is the Tenmis mission? The mission is to help in terms of healthcare and a lifestyle. It does include fitness and as well. So what we're going to do here is that let's first focus on the healthcare part, because we don't want to mess up with the whole things. Because first of all, you're going to be alone, right? You are yourself. There's nobody who's going to be helping you, and you need money and capital and experience and all those things. So let's go with one at a time and master that one particular thing at a point of time. And once we accomplish the little things, then move to the next stage and build slowly by slowly, right? Okay, so the mission of Tenmis is that I will be creating an app to use just like an Uber platform, where I will be enrolling or inviting physicians, like let's say dentists or chiropractors or people who are into uh, uh, what do you call it, lifestyle, that would be in terms of medical spa, right? Or those beauticians and all those things. So we want to create that kind of a platform, and we want to enroll them, invite them to use this platform, and so the other people who need those services can use our platform and search and find the best who they think would want to who they think they should contact and get their whatever the request that they have to be served, right? So I'm gonna I'm right now I'm focusing on the dentist part and also the chiropractor and the medical spa. It just work along. It's not a big kind of for me. It's I'm used to it now, so I can handle like 2 3 product at the same time. But if you were started, you don't even have to focus about beyond two. Just focus on one and try to build up that particular things so that it lay a kind of a foundation for you to start and to understand what's going on, right? And so once you create your mission, like my mission is to create a platform where one suppliers can, can interact with the demand, right? And I'm going to be the kind of a warehouse who's going to be supplying and providing to both parties, right? And so the second thing, like as already discussed, is why Tenmis it's already there because I want to serve the community and share my experience and bring a kind of a more easy and comfortable and flexible way to uh, get their demand completed at the same time. People who are able to supply, basically rendering their skill sets and experience, they also make money or some sort of living out of that kind of a process. So, what is the end goal? The end goal that we have is, or I have for the end goal is that I want to create this platform to be used for healthcare and lifestyle, of course, and but at the end, I want to make this kind of a platform that we can use to a global platform, not only in the United States but all across the world, and it should be able to impact in other people's life, which means. Right now, what we have seen is the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation is about people are trying to be, more independent. People are not used to the kind of old uh, bureaucracy, system. So what we want to do is that help this new evolutions of lifestyle to people, right? And so uh, what I want to do right now is people who wants to be very much independent, who don't want to have a boss or somebody who take care of, who monitors them, who command them, who lead them. They want to be a leader, right? We all are born as a leader. It's just that sometimes we are not that kind of what do you call it, packed with the knowledge and the experience. So for that reason, we just stand as a follower, and most of the time. But when we earn or learn and gain this kind of experience and knowledge, we can set up ourselves as a leader, to lead somebody. And based on your experience and knowledge, you can share to other people as well. So our end goal is to make this a global platform where we can, serve the whole world. That is very simple, and just to get with that, what I would suggest you to do, my last point on this one would be uh, have a notebook, right? It could be a basic notebook, it could be a little notebook. For me, I always use kind of small notebooks, something like this. You know, it's just $2 to $3 if you go to Walmart or Ross or Marshall. Even you can get it for a $1 if you go to like what's that Dollar Tree, dollar store, or if you have like this kind of like books comes in $1. So I always write. I have poured out my thoughts, whatever. I wrote something about like a 10 to 20 books of it, but it's nothing like I want to write kind of books or anything like that. It's just that whatever is in my head, I want to just pour it down and see where it's going. And then I'm a kind of, I think, a visual learner, and so for that reason, I want to see what is in my head and how can I, you know, uh, uh, extract the good and the bad part and combine all this together and then make it a kind of a resourceful for the journey that I'm trying to plan and create. So I've been doing writing notes like this for I don't know, maybe like about like 10 15 years ago. Since I was a kid, I've been doing that, but it's just that I used to write songs and all those things, and to write to compose kind of a little story, whatever is in my mind, since I was a kid, since I was in high school actually. So but that's kind of things with me. So what you want to do for now is that buy yourself a notebook, right? I would say a little kind of thicker than that. That may have about like a 500 page. I don't want to say that go with the one which has the lines on it, or but go with the blank, right? It's easier to, visualize things that what you want to do, and you can just cross here and there. What I have observed is that if you have lines on these things, you tend to follow the line, and because you want to match those kind of little obstructions is something that change your thoughts, so you don't want to have that little one line in the book, and you just have to follow a pattern. Now it should not be something that kind of become an obstructions for you. Instead, what you want to do is that buy a book that is plain sheet, right, and draft your dream, right. The drafting your dream, your missions and your goals is your footprint. What you learn, it just become your tool. It's become your resource. It becomes your reference point. What were you thinking in the past few days, or whatever thoughts comes in your mind, you just pour it out and just go back and page and flip the page and see. I got a little marker here as well, so uh, something like this. I don't know what's. I was thinking about the Angular stuff, which is the coding, uh, and that's how I mark it, right? And I have the kind of a little here, uh, the chart flow. I don't know if you can see or not, but yeah, just for reference, create whatever you can create, but have a book and try to draft as much as thoughts that you have in this book. Writing is good because you have a resource, uh, you know, with you all the time. Your mind, sometimes, if you try to save things here, what happens is that let's say you plan to go to get coffee or something, for example, right? Somebody calls you, and you just forget about that thing, right? Mine is kind of a place where things has to get filtered, and you don't want to, store anything in the filter region, or say in the sections where things are filtered. So instead, what you want to do is that uh, filter that things, makes your notebook a process to filter your thoughts, and with that you will always have a resourceful. Whatever is good, just extract that, and whatever is bad, just remove that and move on with the good things. All right, saying with that, I'm gonna end this long video over here, and that is what we have learned today. First thing would be um, create a missions and a goal, right? Missions and a goal. The second thing is about introduce what is going to be your mission and what is your goal, what you want to create, right? And who you want to serve and what you want to do actually. And the third thing is that the name or the brand or whatever you want to come up with, have a story tagline with it that you can use this as your kind of how do we say the mission or the motto of your life, right? Or whatever the project or the missions that you want to create, just have the motto for that. And the end goals, right? End goals, it's always good. If you are in a business, or if you're planning a business to go for let's say if you want to set up a business, and you want to raise capital or something like that, at the end somebody is going to, the investor is going to ask you this one question: what is your exit strategy? So exit strategy, why we need exit strategy is because we want to understand where we are going, when we are going, what are we going to do, how are we going to do, and for whom are we going to do, and when we are going to do. So when you have this time scale, you know it, that what's within that time scale. And so every investors, or you know, any financial contributor basically to help you out on your mission, they would want to know what is in between, what is your action plan. You may would be able to say, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do that. Well, everybody has done that. It's just so messy. But if you have a strategy and if you have an exit plan, people knows that, okay, they understood what is in the exit plan and what they want to achieve. And in between, they're going to work on whatever the things it's required to accomplish the mission. You don't necessarily have to have end of the goal, but you can always make it kind of a section or plot, like how this movie directors or the story writers always plot for every section of the video or the movie, just like that plot, and then frame it all together, and then you will have a clear vision of what you want to do. So basically, you want to have the end goals, right? What is going to be your end goal would be what is going to be your exit strategy, and what do you accomplish by then. With that, I think the video ended up getting a bit long, but I hope these informations or this thought and this sharing is kind of helpful for you. And if, like I said earlier as well, and all the time I'm going to repeating these things. If you have any questions or if you want to share your thoughts, feel free. I'm here with you and all the time, and we will try to accomplish your goal. At the same time, I will show you how to accomplish my goal as well, right? With that saying, I'll meet you or see you in the next video.